Hello and welcome to MGP episode 302. I'm Sheepdog and with me is Pab. Say hello, Pab.
Hello.
Now, I explained last week that Kev and Anna were having some difficulties in their personal life and they weren't able to do the show. I'm sure most of you are aware from social media and Kev's channel and everything that sadly Anna's mum passed away in the week. So they're not going to be on the podcast for at least another week or so. It's with me and Pab next week. But if you want to reach out to Anna or Kev at all, do so via Kev's channel on the video that you put up. They've asked not to be tweeted just because getting a constant tweet saying I'm really sorry is a bit too constant and reminding. They'd like to just pull it all in one place so Anna doesn't have that constant sort of chirp in her phone reminding her. They're handling it. It's all being done. And we sort of spoke to him in a week and said, we'll just crack on and do this. Mm-hmm. So, welcome to that rather, downbeat. I don't really know how we try and drag the show back up from there, Pab, but, I think I can start with a quick one of we spoke too soon last week. Some might say we were overconfident. I was excited to announce that I'd bought back the rights to MatureGamerPodcast.com. I then wrote to my hosting company a couple of days later saying, why is it not working yet? Why can't I tie these together? Why is it that when I type in MatureGamerPodcast.com, it all goes to some sort of Chinese spam website? And they kept coming back to me with nonsense excuses. They told me that I hadn't bought the web domain. I'd tried to transfer it and I needed to log into my Chinese domain and transfer the site across. And I'm saying to them, no, I've brought the domain from you. And apparently what happened was when I clicked to buy it, a company called, I think it's pronounced Xnet, Xinnet, also applied to buy it. And I'm guessing that their system acted quicker than my system did because I'm guessing that there's like a centralized place where you buy it. And I'm guessing that when I go on the site and buy it, they probably go off and order them in bulk or whatever at a certain time of night, whereas this other company went and did it whenever they did it. And so they bought it maybe an hour before we did or whatever. It doesn't exactly say when. It just says on the same day they bought it. And considering it was available at 9 o'clock at night when I bought it, God knows what happened. But I verified this with the hosting company. I said, yeah, that's completely possible. They apologized for lying because they told me about 3 different reasons why I hadn't bought it the first time.
Right.
Like, oh, you were asked, did you own this when you bought it? I said, no, I wasn't. It was just type it in and buy it. I didn't get asked anything. So they agreed to sort of send me my money back, which I thought was really bizarre. They weren't going to refund me. They were just going to say, well, sucks to be you. I've emailed Xnet to ask whether we can have the domain back, but they've not responded. Part of me wonders whether they can speak English because I went on their help chat thing and I typed in there on can you talk to me in English at all? And then they replied in Chinese and I copy and paste it into a translator and it said something like, I can't help you here. Email our support email address. And then I asked for a support email address and they replied, I can't help you. I don't know what you're saying.
All caps.
Yeah. So I basically gave up and emailed their email address. But then annoyingly, when you search for them online, there's just loads of people complaining about them being the most unreputable or disreputable, whatever the word is, web host in the world. Literally, apparently the word, like, I'm not trying to slander them. This is stuff I've read online. They've been voted one of the worst hosts universally. And I don't anticipate us getting that back off them. I've tried to explain in my email that it's literally worthless to anybody who doesn't own a podcast called Mature Gamer Podcast. And there are no other ones, because that's us. So I said, if I can get it sorted, fine. If I can't, meh. If anyone listening speaks Chinese and thinks they could have a better crack at getting in touch with Xnet, it's xinnet.com. It all feels like a bit too much effort at this rate.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. Like, let's just if nothing comes of it, we're going to buy another one.
Now,
is that more hard work than I think it is?
It's not. No, it's not at all. I'm a bit miffed that MGP isn't easy to buy.
Is it not?
Well, I thought it'd be like MotoGP, but it isn't. It just goes to you need to update your Flash
Oh.
I don't know,
Okay.
actually. Now I'm typing it in again. MGP.com seems to be potentially available. I might have to register this.
We'll look at this later on then.
That'd be hilarious if we ended up owning a three-letter domain.
That is, that I mean, I imagine Sheepdog, they're going to say, yeah, you can have it for $3 to $5,000.
It's taken, apparently. Never mind. We don't really need a domain that much. I just wanted that one back because it was where I could send all the emails from and maintain a bit of continuity.
It's just nice to have an email address. And
I was more excited. Yeah. When I thought we had it, I was excited because I thought it was just a chance to play around with it. I also started moving my blog website across to my hosting, but I realised as I was doing it that I've got nothing to do with that. It's just I'm basically wasting time and effort on it. But I don't know. It's all fun. I'd rather own it than not, I suppose. But no, I was very disappointed to lose that because I thought I'd sorted it, but now I feel like a bit of a plonker.
There was some hope there. Yeah, last week, Sheepdog, there was some hope there. So I mean, who knows? It might come up again soon. If not, like I say, we might look at another one. We'll see. It's not, the website thing isn't dead in the water, let's put it that way. We're back on the market sort of thing.
I don't know whether we just go for mgukpodcast.com.
I'm sure we can find something.
I should stop shouting them out because I imagine...
Yeah, because I mean...
It's probably Xander Innit who listens to the podcast. He went and he bought it and he's probably buying all the other ones I mentioned and it will turn out
exactly.
I'll stop there. So, what have you been playing this week? I have been playing a few bits, but I think it's better if you start because I've been talking for a while.
What have I played? So, let's think. What have I played? I mean, I have wrote some of these down, but mainly this is stuff that I write down for every week for the last 4 or 5 maybe. I'm continuing to play Fortnite. I'm finding, I don't know why, but I'm better on my own in playing in solos than with duos or whatever.
You frightened me earlier because you posted Team Kev wins again, number 11, and I thought you were basically saying that you and Kev had formed a team and been playing Fortnite together. And my little heart just snapped in two, and then I realised that that's just the name of your one-man band.
No, it's the name of what Kev has named Team Kev, and anyone in Team Kev who plays Fortnite, he claims the victory if I get a win on my own.
I guess that's all part and parcel of you come from his stable, so he's got that kind of training fee, hasn't he?
He's taking a cut, yeah.
It's like Harry Redknapp. If you play for him, he gets 10%.
Pretty much, yeah. So I've done that. Like I say, I got another victory tonight, and I got another victory the last weekend after the show, some point over the weekend last weekend. So I'm up to 11 now, and like I say, I'm finding it a lot more difficult to play with people. Because I know some people that play it online, not like yourself and Kev or whatever, but someone who I play with on the Switch. And
you'd think it wouldn't matter, wouldn't you?
What do you mean you think?
Well, you think it wouldn't make much of a difference. Like, I suppose if I was good at it, then playing together might help because I could build walls for you. And
the thing is, right, is when you kill someone in Fortnite and solo, you kill them outright. Where you kill them in like a team-based game, you only down them, so then someone else can pick them up. Right. So you're now worrying for like two play. Like I was playing duos generally, so I'm playing 2 people against 2 people at a time. And I know I've got someone there with me, but I'm also like, he relies on me to be the experience in this game now because I got the gist of it. So I've now got my eyes on him and every other duo out there. So
that makes sense. I remember playing it.
It makes it increasingly difficult because a lot of the time, like I say, I get my victories just from like picking people off that don't see me. Whereas when I found myself getting like cornered pretty easily and just picked off. To the shame really, because I want to get my mate a victory, but it's just really, I don't know, I find it increasingly difficult to play in in duos or in big team like squads.
Shame you can't. Can you arrange to play solo on the same, or is that too difficult to align?
On the same thing, I mean, it doesn't matter realistically because I'm going to have to kill him at some point to get the victory.
Well, that's what I mean. If you got down to the final two because you're working together, and
I mean, it's increasingly difficult to get onto the server to the same like game sort of thing. If you imagine the amount of people playing this game, and then you've got like the odds of you two meeting in the same game is quite remote.
I need to play it more. It's interesting. I know Anna said it's a 12 or whatever, but my kids are properly into it.
I think it's not that bad.
No, exactly. I feel like if they're ever going to play games, it's always going to involve shooting somebody, and it sucks.
There's no real like blood and gore or anything like that.
Exactly.
It's not like it seems more cartoony than anything else. What I have done this week is I've completed the battle pass. I've got to the level 100 of the battle pass. There is no more progress for me to go on other than level up my player itself, the character itself, and you'll get more.
Will give you more items and abilities.
Yeah. So the battle pass is what you buy every season, and each season. I mean, this is the 10th week. It's the last week of season 4 this week, going into like next week starts season 5, and each. Sorry. What happens is you get given each a set like 10 challenges each week, like search chests in a certain area, kill certain people with a certain weapon, kill people in a certain area, and some are just go to this location, and then you get stars for doing each challenge, and you need 10 stars to go up a level in the battle pass. And each battle pass you've got like V-Bucks or a skin for your character or a parachute or a pickaxe or a dance or whatever it is, and you just move up that way. So I've been doing that for like since it came out, and I've finally reached. It's the last week, and I've got to the end of the battle pass sort of thing, which I'm chuffed about because last season I think I got to 70s, maybe I didn't get it all. So I've got like the whatever it is, like the legendary skin that you get for getting to the level 100. And I kind of got there today, and I was like, I don't know what to do with myself now. It's like I don't know what else I'm meant to do with this now. There's nothing else there for me, in the sense of I can get the victories and what have you, but it doesn't go towards anything. But then it all starts again next week. So there we go. We start again with a new battle pass next week. I mean, it'll cost. I think it costs £8 or £17, I think, for the battle pass each time. You get you can buy the advanced battle pass, and you get like a booster to boost you like first 25 levels, something like that. And that's probably worth doing that, really, in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I continue to kind of be addicted to that game on Switch, especially because, like I say, the characters and everything. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because there's more kids playing it or what have you. But you can get away with a lot more in that game. Today, the victory I got today, I landed in Dusty Divot, yeah, which is like a big hot zone. It's a hot zone for people. And I killed 2 people, and I won in the divot. I didn't move from the divot. I just just patrolled it constantly, looking around. I got 2 kills there, and
practice. Do you know what I mean? Get built up there, and then
there is a building like server at the minute, like where you can just spend time just building. There's no killing in the game. You get a server and you just get to build.
Cool.
So you get to practice your building.
Yeah.
So that's on this week only, I think, before the next thing, next season starts. I imagine it'll drop then. But yeah, I imagine that'll come back at some point. But I'm not really building in this game. I'm really not building that much. Whereas the PC version, it's all very much a building game.
I suppose it's easier on the PC though to press.
It is exactly.
Yeah.
So if we play together, we will be cross-platform between Switch and Xbox. If we played with, I don't think you can play an Xbox between Xbox and PC either. So that's a shame.
I thought you could, or is that no, maybe not.
It's weird. It's weird. It doesn't let you, because I tried doing that. And you have to have a separate account. You can't link the account up. It's just a strange thing that they do. And you can't obviously do Xbox, PS4, but you could do PS4 and PC, but you can't do PS4 to Switch because they're being weird about that. It's like all sorts of different like variations of who can play with who, but there is cross-play in certain things. But you want to be playing. If we were playing if I was playing cross-platform with Kev on the PC, I'd get annihilated because you then become like you go onto a cross-platform server where it is a mixture of, like, say, Switch players and PC players.
I've seen the Reddit post where somebody was playing on, I don't know if it was like a phone hooked up to a load of kit, and they're on the PC one, and it's like, what are you trying to achieve there, mate? You know, like,
I mean, actually, yeah, when the PC one, when the phone one came out and it showed them, there's a guy literally just dancing in front of him, and this guy was like trying to like move around him, and he's like a real delay on him, just trying to kill him, but he just couldn't get anywhere near him. He was like Neo from the Matrix, just dancing around him. So yeah, Fortnite is my go-to game if I'm just bored of like, oh, I've got nothing on that I could think of that I want to do. And it's great, like especially on Switch, because like, I can play it in the night and like just before I go to bed, I just pop the Switch on for half an hour.
You give me a good segue by saying the word bored. I can follow up on my review of the release of The Crew 2 last week.
All right, okay, go on then.
I tried to get back on it and give it another crack, and I don't know. It's trying to build. I mean, I know I covered this briefly last week, that it's trying to appeal to, I guess, a certain type of player who's into that thing. But it's constantly trying to build hype and build something out as cool and act like something's amazing and act like it's a big deal. And I'm just sat there kind of going, so what? Like, oh, wow, I exceeded 3,000 Twitter followers. Great. Like, really? You know, you've given me a free Red Bull sponsored buggy to race around in it, stuff like that. And I'm just like, why are you trying to be a bunch of like lame, cringy Americans about it? Like, you know, I'm trying to think of the sort of person I mean. I don't mean all Americans. I mean like, just shallow, basic, irritating, nothing important is going on in their lives. And that's what this whole game seems to be about, people who have absolutely nothing going on. They lead trivial lives, and to fill the void in their lives, they're racing cars that aren't theirs and racing boats. And do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, and you know these people exist, and it's probably quite fun, but in reality, they're probably just like kids with rich parents, and they're like, oh, I'm not going to get a real job. I'm going to go and be my own person. I'm going to race dirt bikes around in the desert because that's awesome. It's like, all right, mate, whatever. But that's, I put the game on and I just get frustrated because I just think, what's the point? I mean, at least, I don't know, it sounds a bit silly, but at least if you're playing an F1 game, the story, I guess, is that you're competing in Formula One. I don't know. It's just, it feels different. It feels like, most sports games, I mean, I'm not saying, oh, you know, yeah, I don't want to play FIFA because what's the point? Football's rubbish. You know, I get that that's emulating football, and I get that most of these things are emulating races. This just feels like it's specifically about people who don't want real jobs going out and bumbling around on fancy vehicles and not even being the best at it. They're just coming to dominate it and become, I don't know, like, I get that I'm being really snarky about it and overthinking what's basically a racing game, but it wouldn't be a problem if they didn't massively focus on that and make and just force cutscenes. It's a racing game. Just let me go to the next race. Don't put a cutscene in where somebody's going, whoa, dude, whoa.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You smashed that. And they come out with all these late. It sounded like, I forget her name, the lady who did E3 a few years back. And just kept coming out with about the fact that she had a girl erection and all of this, and you're like, what? Nobody talks like this. None of this dialogue is real dialogue. Whoever wrote this is embarrassing you because you don't talk like this. And, you know, that's how it feels. Whoever wrote the dialogue in this game just doesn't know how humans talk. And it feels like, I don't know, if they'd have just replaced all of the cutscenes with just a basic interface. But even the interface they've used is a bit weird. You can walk around the racing areas, but you're standing in front of someone and they just stare blankly at you, and you think, okay, I can't interact with you, so why are you there? It's a bit odd. I don't know. It just feels like there's bits missing from the game, and it's badly written. But yeah, I mean, I still haven't really got to grips with the mechanics on it. I keep feeling like I need to crack on more, but equally I don't want to. It's one of those like difficult scenarios where I guess if I was reviewing, if you'd have given me, say, Detroit, like, to review, I wouldn't have been saying midway through, talking about it in any kind of negative way. I'd have been pushing through to finish it and give my honest opinion, whereas finishing this just seems to involve repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again whilst douchebags tell me how cool I am. So I'm not going to do that.
No? Not up your street then?
No.
It seemed a bit kind of hollow from what I've read.
I don't know who it's aimed at, because I just don't know who it's aimed at.
This is what the youth of today like, is it?
I don't even think they do, though. I
No?
just don't imagine like a kid running out of his way to get it. I mean, you've segued me again, actually, because I mentioned before about how everyone's obsessed with Fortnite, as we know.
Uh-huh.
All the kids are playing it. You know, apparently in the news, kids are wetting themselves because they're so obsessed with it. And I mentioned last week, my son's obsessed with Roblox at the moment, and how I've been helping him out with it, and I've been loving how genius it is and how innocent it is. But Rob Dermott, who you've met Rob, haven't you? He's friends with Bouncy. We've known him for a while now. He messaged me and said, "Are you aware you can get Roblox on the Xbox and then you can crossplay with the Kindle and the other?"
Wow.
I haven't cross-played on it yet, but I do feel like I made a bit of an epic mistake, because what I've done is I've downloaded it on my Xbox and handed my son the controller and just said, "Have at it," and now he knows he can game on a TV, and he's a little bit blown away by the fact that the game that was on his Kindle is now on the Xbox, and he can do it with a controller, and it's all a bit easier to control.
Yeah.
Now, I must admit, the first thing we clicked seemed a bit janky and broken. It was a dragon attack game where you were in like an arena for... It's interesting, actually. It's basically, I guess, it is like Fortnite, except instead of other people attacking you, it's dragons, and you have to avoid the dragon attacks, and the map gets smaller and smaller until you're on one cube, and the dragons are attacking you. But we couldn't get into it for love nor money. We were queuing in the lobby, and then it would load up, and then we seemed to instantly be watching other people play, and I couldn't figure it out. And we sat there and tried it for a while. We spent probably more time trying to get stuff to work than we did actually playing stuff. Once we did get in one, it was basically like a Minecraft style. I mean, I don't know how they're getting away with this. It was basically Minecraft, except you started off with a bucket. You could bucket sand, and then you could sell the sand for very little money, and then you could kind of go down underground, and there'd be treasure chests, and you could collect more money from the treasure chests. You could collect jewels and gems and all sorts. And then the idea was you could obviously upgrade your digging equipment and go further and dig underground. I'm saying it's like Minecraft. I don't know whether you could build stuff, and that's obviously the fundamental part of Minecraft. I get that. But it felt like the mining part of Minecraft. So what is it called? Mine, I suppose. But we were doing that for a bit, and he was really enjoying it because it was just like finding treasure chests and that. I don't think he really got what you could do with them. I think you could, in theory. Well, one thing it wasn't clear to me, and we saved it, so I'll find out over the weekend, because we ended up getting kind of run out of time because the football was on, and every time we've gone back to it, we've kind of been run out of time because of the football again. So I've never had a chance to properly explore it, because if I try and take the controller, he says, "Stop snatching it from me," and then carries on playing. So I'm kind of letting him get on, because I thought I'd rather nurture his gaming than interfere and be a boring dad who wants to understand it. But I don't know whether you can save up the Roblox money and then go into another game and spend it in there, because this seems like a great idea. If we can just sit there and mine through and get thousands and thousands of Roblox dollars, then we can go and do other stuff. But what I kept finding in the Dragon game was every time I accidentally pressed X, it said I needed to spend 350 Roblox dollars to go back to game. I think it seemed like it was saying if I spent those dollars, I could have a continue. But we hadn't died, so I felt like that's why it was janky, because it was almost saying, yeah, you have to pay to go back into the game, and I was thinking, we haven't even yet, so I didn't know whether that was just a bug or whether we were just genuinely dying that instantly, whether there was someone spawn killing us, which again seems a bit broken if you have to spend in-game currency on surviving. But that'll be interesting to find out. I say I'm early into this venture with him. I'm thinking it'd be fun if I can get him on the Kindle where he's used to playing it and me on the Xbox, and I can help him through some of the levels. But he just seems to love doing the he likes just going through the maze ones where you have to jump across stuff. But I want to play hide and seek with him.
It's funny because like you're going to end up on the Kindle and he's going to end up on the Xbox. You're going to end up on the small screen and he's going to be hooked on playing on the big screen. He can't play it anymore on the tiny screen. You've opened his eyes to a different game now.
That's it. I mean, I'm excited thinking that he'll get used to the controls again. I think he is too young to play Fortnite, so I won't get him in it. But I will find other games for him to get involved in and start building him into it. It's weird, actually, because when I was, like, I don't know, 7 or 8, I had a cousin who's like, I have a cousin who's, I don't know how much older than me he is. I can't even think now. He'd have probably been maybe 8 or 9 years older, but he used to have, like a hacked SNES that had pretty much every game going. And then he had loads of SNES games in here, like legit ones. So he used to bring them round. And I remember he introduced me to like Super Mario World, introduced me to all these games. But I remember being like 7 or 8 and him lending me Sim City. And that becoming the game I became massively obsessed with as like an 8-year-old. And so I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if I can do the same to him, whether that's a blessing or a curse. Because it's such a geeky game to get obsessed with. When I applied for secondary school, my mum brought it up in the exam at the interview at one of the schools I applied for, which was mortifying because I felt like what a silly thing to bring up. But she told this headmaster of the school that my favourite game was Sim City, and I just basically said something like, "Yeah, but only when you can destroy the city with disasters." Just because I thought, "What are you doing, Mum?" I didn't go to that school anyway, more because I was mortified, I imagine. But I think she just thought I was a bit straight edge and weird because I really liked this city building accountancy type game. But it does make me wonder what on earth a 5 to 10-year-old will actually play other than the likes of Sonic and racing games. I mean, I wouldn't let him play games like Streets of Rage, which I did play growing up. I don't see me getting that for him anytime soon, but yeah, it's interesting, actually. It'll be fun exploring it because I've not looked at littler games in years, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, this isn't so little, really, these days.
Well, I mean, kids' games, sorry.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, Roblox. Roblox is not little. I thought, it's funny because I knew the kids were all obsessed with it. I didn't think when we spoke about it last week that I'd have Rob and people messaging me about it.
Oh, yeah, it's massive. It's massive.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I definitely knew it was massive. I didn't really. I mean, I'm starting to learn it's almost like Minecraft massive. Obviously, not maybe financially, but
is it free?
Yeah.
I mean that's a big like incentive for it. It's kind of like Minecraft, but free. It doesn't cost anything, and it's not just Minecraft. There are hundreds of other games in this game, sort of thing. It's a huge like incentive for people to play it. So
I had a panic when he pressed the button and it asked us to spend the Roblox dollars because I thought it was asking him to update his balance from my balance. So that I was like, no, but it doesn't look like it does, or somewhere it will, but not immediately.
That's good.
I don't want him tricking him into spending loads of money because. I mean, I'll have to go through the settings and turn it off if it can do that, but I don't think I've got it set up so it can. And if it does, it's connected to my wife's account anyway, so...
Nice. What else have I played? I've been playing the game of Steam sales.
The game of Steam sales?
Yeah. So the Steam sale's been on last week. I think it's ended now by the time this will come out. But yeah, there was a big old Steam sale on summer sales type thing, as there always is, and there's very little for me to buy. But I did manage to pick up a few little bits off of my wish list. I managed to pick up Republic, which seemed like a stealth-based kind of like sneaking game where you are. From what I remember, it was originally I feel like it was originally maybe a Vita game, and it was moved on to like the consoles and what have you. And what you do is you are operating like CCTV cameras, and you've got to orchestrate people. This prisoner in this this secret base type thing, because you've got to orchestrate her get out sort of thing. So you've got to watch the camera and say, right, go now, or you've got to say like, okay, I've jammed this door, go through this way, sort of thing. From what I can gather, I've not played it yet, but I want to play it because it looks like I say, everyone's seen it. I put it on my wish list ages ago, and it's not. I think it's like from 2015, so it's not brand new. But it seemed nifty. It seemed like a cool idea, and like I say, I'm not really going to play it on my Vita these days. So playing it on the PC seems like ideal. For £3, it cost me something like that.
It's not too shabby. You said about the Vita, right? Someone, I can't remember what company it was. Someone was giving away a Vita the other day as a major prize with a brand new game on it. And I was thinking,
it's a good console, but I was just...
Well, what new games have come out on the Vita recently?
There's quite a lot of stuff still coming out. It's a lot of
I was shocked.
Stuff, but there's still a lot of... There's a huge library on the Vita. Surprisingly.
I just typed in Vita 2018, and actually it does go quite far along.
Yeah, it's quite
20 odd games in there. I keep thinking about flogging mine to put towards the Switch fund, but I never thought I'd get enough to warrant it.
Yeah, I mean, I've not played it in a while, but I've never thought of getting rid of it just because I've got to that age where I'm not getting flogging old consoles as much anymore. Like I'd buy a console and then I'd replace that with the new one and trade the old one in. And that's how it worked when I was younger.
So they're £80 on Amazon, so it's probably again not really worth.
They're £80 on Amazon. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty decent for considering there's a reasonable back catalogue on there.
Yeah,
that's probably something again where I could probably load that up with some small games and
definitely.
Here you go, Bosco, have a crack at that.
Yeah, it's Final Fantasy VII.
Do you know, I was just thinking that it'd be good to give it to Lamp Up and say, here's Final Fantasy VII, have a crack on that.
Yeah.
I'm now tempted to take that with me on my flight and just play 18 hours of Final Fantasy VII.
Well, I mean, you could do. You got a big old back catalogue there of PlayStation 1 games and umpteen, small, pretty amazing games in that library. So, I mean, don't see why not.
It's a shame they didn't make more of the... Excuse me, I'm yawning there, sorry. More of the older games free on it, because that would have been an interesting one. Charging a few quid just seems pointless. I suppose they've got to pay for the servers, that's fair enough. But if I could have just rinsed through ancient games on there, it might have just got me more in a habit, and just don't know where that will lead, do you?
Yeah, exactly. Right, what else have I played? What else I picked up on a Steam sale was a little game called Lefis, Path of Progress. You won't have heard of this, really.
No, I haven't. It sounds like it's some sort of left-leaning political.
No,
thriller.
It is a city-building game, and it is adorable.
There you go. Path to Progress. The left are building an adorable utopia.
It's a really cool little game. It's not a huge game, but it's a nice city-building game. It's like it could well be hand-drawn. Little artwork. Actually, the artwork is what drew me to the game. I saw someone playing it. I was like, "Oh, what is that?" And then I put it on my wish list immediately. And I was like, "Yeah, I've got to play this." I mean, not even played. I've played probably an hour, maybe not even that. And I've done 3 tutorials. That is it. Just learning how the generalistics of the game works. And I've got a mayor who I report to, and she wants these things doing, and you've got to deal with the demands of the people, but then you've also got to deal with what she wants as well for the town. So
I've just loaded it up, and it does look, it does.
It's a really nice looking game. It's amazingly, say, the artwork is just stunning.
It does look just hand drawn, like you say.
It's a nice little game. It's a nice game. It's a nice soundtrack. And like I say, all I've done is just basically do the 3 tutorials. There's loads of tutorials in it. So I've learned how to build houses, how to upgrade the houses, and the houses are upgraded through the satisfaction level of the people. So it's akin to something like SimCity or whatever, where you
it's like a mix of SimCity and Civilization, really, because the leveling up of the buildings and stuff.
Yeah,
and meeting demands.
Yeah. So I've learned how to build houses. I've learned how to build wells, and wells have workers associated to them automatically, and they take a route around your thing. So you've got to plan like the route that they're going to take, and you can put stoppers on the roads to stop them from wandering off, because these people just wander.
Yeah, it sounds like a theme park.
So you've got to like put like little roadblocks in front of like a certain end. So you go, okay, I want you to go up here, circle round here, and back again. So you got to block that road off there, so he doesn't go wandering off down that way and down to the river. No, don't let him go that way. So you see this worker's going around delivering water to all these houses, and that upgrades them. And then they want food, so you go and put some fields in, but you can't do anything with the fields without somewhere to store it. So you then got to buy it like storage, like a warehouse to keep the food. And then the food is then distributed to a shop where they can go and buy the stuff. And then it gets to a certain level where you're like, yesterday, the third tutorial was like saying, this village is haunted by ghosts. I was like, what? What?
That sounds good.
You need an exorcist. So I've got an exorcist tent now. So this guy, it seems like he's a bit of a con man to me. So he turns up with his big long jacket on, top hat, and little like wind up mustache, and he wanders around dispersing ghosts. And you're like, really? Is this guy not a con man? But he's doing his job, so I don't care.
Hearing you say you manage where the people go, I feel like there's a feature forming here. Another tale from my dark past playing these sorts of games. I can't help but manipulate that when you can basically force the AI where to go. I used to build arrows on my theme park maps. I'd say, right, when people enter the park, they have to go left, they have to go forward. And forward would be the arcade, where I'd be charging 20 quid a go on the arcade. Everyone who entered the park would be filtered into that, and every time they entered the exit, they'd be forced back into the entrance, and they'd just loop through that. And they wouldn't always spend money, but after like every 5 loops, they'd spend money. And basically had trapped maybe 100 people in that loop, watch them all get all their money away, then release them and send them straight out the exit of the park home. Yeah. And then the next bus would arrive, and I'd just have that on a loop and just fill the coffers of the park until I'd built a decent park. So I'd be doing that in my city. I'd just be sending everyone to work on a constant loop until they were exhausted or something.
Well, this is the thing. There's not, in this game, there's not really anything to do with like, you've got to deal with workers. Like, you put the fields down, the fields.
But it really is lefty, isn't it? No work.
No, as in like you do. There's workers there, but you're dealing with like how the people in your town like want to be there, sort of thing. So that you don't have to assign workers. Everything you put down, everything is auto assigned workers. So you don't have to go, okay, I need to drag you guys from there and put you into the field. I need to put you into the wash house. Everything is just assigned to things, and it's how the people like living in your town, sort of thing. So they feel like the facilities of like having a wash house, a shop, a maintenance team which looks after the houses and make sure that the houses don't just go to disrepair. There's a theatre, I think, on the tutorial I did yesterday. So that increases like the house level, like the rating of the house. So I think I had to get to like house rating 6. But then also they've got enough money now, these people. They want booze. And I was like, okay, you want some booze? Okay, so you can go to the fields and do your like make booze and whatever you're doing it with wheat or whatever it is. Is it wheat? Barley? No. I don't. Anyway, there's also a way to get some like absinthe as well, which is like there's like some weird way of getting absinthe because sometimes the land isn't fertile enough for you to grow the barley or whatever it is for alcohol. So it's like, well, it's insane the amount of stuff in this game. Like, it's just, like I say, there's a bit of crazy in it as well, like I say, with exorcists and people making absinthe and stuff like that. It's just, but like I say, it's doing it all with like a nice little cutesy look to it and a nice soundtrack. So it's not really like stressing me out like a lot of these city builders. I build so far in most city builders, like City Scan or something, and I get to a point where I've run out of money. And I can't do anything. I'm like sort of paralysed with I can't build anything to get myself out of this trouble, and I can't. My money's just going down now, and I can't dig myself out of it because I don't have the money to do anything with it. And that tends to happen a lot with me in these games. I build too ambitiously. I build massive road facilities. I'm too architecturally involved. Like, okay, all the roads are like going. The factories are over there. They're miles out of the way, so you're not getting the pollution. The houses are all the way over here. Then you zigzag them all around.
Well, it says this is a Victorian steampunk game, so maybe you don't have to worry about the pollution and living near it because they don't know anything about pollution yet.
Probably not.
It
seems like they're all happy about it. It seems like they're all just getting on with it, but they don't like living like, and the people don't like to live in the field, with the farmlands and what have you. So you've got to set the farmlands a bit further away.
Probably because they just don't want pigs eating their food and stuff.
Probably. So yeah, I've played that. I'll probably finish the tutorials over the weekend, I imagine, because it's just been a nice and relaxing game to play, and I'll probably get into the game and realise I'm really bad at that, just playing the game in general. Tutorials have just been going easy on me. We'll find out. What else have I done? There are PlayStation sales on at the minute.
Oh no, don't say that.
Yeah, I managed to get Skyrim VR for £15 earlier in the week. I've not played it yet because it's been too hot to boot up the VR headset and start swinging swords around or whatever. It's been too hot for that. But I have got it, and I will probably try to have it played for next week. I'll probably try and play it over the weekend. But yeah, I thought £15, it's not bad really. It's like normally £50 on the store. So I thought, bargain, I'll get it. What I've bought today as well, I've also bought Battlefront 2. That's on sale at the minute. I don't know if it's over the weekend or whatever. Because I like Star Wars.
Isn't it like frowned upon though?
No, it's fine now, Sheepdog, to be fair.
All right, okay. The
game is fine. Everyone made a fuss about the loot box nonsense and what have you, and that was wrong. But they took everything out of the Battlefront, and everything is free now in the game. You get items through progress in the game. You don't. All the DLC is free, from what I can gather. You don't pay for pretty much anything. I think
it almost feels like everyone should be going this nuts about every game.
Yeah, most things have gone free like this. I mean, all the new Battlefield 5 stuff, there isn't really a season pass for the Battlefield 5. Everything's in one package, I think, if I remember rightly. And they do that sort of thing because they don't want to like segment their audience sort of thing to like going, okay, this many people only have the core game, this many people have this DLC pack, this many people have all the DLC packs. So you segment in how many people can play certain matches in the game, sort of thing. You get what I mean?
Mm.
So it's like they want the whole audience to be able to play the games and whatever. So you're not like having to struggle to find games because there's only a certain number of people. You know what I mean? You can't play this map because you don't have the DLC.
Well, I used
pack.
to hate that. That used to get me on Battlefield.
Yeah.
I've got mixed up. We'd all be in a group, and then suddenly it would roll to the one that I hadn't bought, and my choice would be join in for I don't know, £15 or whatever.
Yeah.
Or pay £30 so that I never had the problem again. Or just say, you know what, I've already spent £30 on the game, I'll see you later. And I used to just opt for I'll see you later because I didn't have a choice. And I used to wind me up because...
Yeah, well, I mean, this isn't... You don't get that now.
I mean, I've said this before, I don't really get the work sometimes for stuff like that, being happy to just do it. I guess it's not bank breaking, but it just... I don't know. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that people made such a fuss that they got it overturned.
Yeah,
it's all right.
I mean, so I've only played for about half an hour. You know, I guess how big the actual file was to download Star Wars Battlefront.
It's got to be like stupidly high gigs.
90.
That's quite heavy.
90 gigabytes. Pretty much from like 4:00 to about an hour before we started like recording. when you messaged me saying I'll be ready I'm just uploading a video, I went, I better play some Battlefront before.
Yeah.
So we played about half an hour to 45 minutes of Battlefront, and it seems that I like the Battlefront game, the first one, and I had that on PC. We got a review copy for that, I think, didn't we? I feel like I did. I feel like we did. Yeah, I feel like we did. And I enjoyed it a lot. But I can't play it on PC anymore. Origin crashes constantly. For whatever reason, Origin just crashes and just kicks me out of the game. So Origin crashes, then it doesn't recognise as a gameplay. It goes, hang on a minute, where's my sort of like setup sort of thing, whereas my game network sort of thing, and it closes the game as well. So I've since playing, I feel like it was something like, it might have been for the last Battlefield 1 when I got that. That's when it started happening. But I've since uninstalled pretty much every game on Origin, and it still does it. It just crashes all the time.
It's really weird. Have you not
tried
getting onto like their help desk or something?
I can't be bothered. If they'd be like, just uninstall it. I'll just do a fresh install of Windows. No, thank you.
You know what,
play your game.
You say that, just as a bit of a tangent, because I'm the sort of person who will get on a help desk or whatever. I got onto EE earlier to ask them about, I've said this before, I went onto EE about my phone going abroad.
Yeah.
And got it sorted, and they basically gave me from 10 gig to 25 gig for free to use in America. I rang them just to say that my wife's account is only on 5 gig. Is there anything we can do to get that to like 10 or whatever? And they put that to 20 gig for an extra £1. And I was just like, this is insane. If anyone's on EE, give them a ring. It's well worth it. I couldn't believe it, but I think it is sometimes worthwhile ringing just because you never know. They might just go, Joe, I'm really sorry, this is broken. We'll fix it. Cause if you say to them, this has been a problem for however many months it's been, I haven't been able to play games. They might just go, do you know what? We're sorry. Here's £50 to spend on another game through Origin. Technically, they're just giving you a game that they don't have to pay for anyway. And you're suddenly laughing. It might be worth it. It's hassle, but you get your problem fixed and you just never know. And it might be a chance to talk about how awesome they've been.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you. I always find ringing up gets you more results than speaking through someone on like live chat or an email. If you physically speak to someone, like I say, when I spoke to someone about my mouse last week, where I said to him, can we just cut out the middleman and you refund me the difference? And he kind of went, I can't really do that, but I'll do it anyway. I'll do a workaround for you because I see what you mean. I mean, I don't think I could have explained that over a text chat to someone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does benefit.
Saying actually, I've been having text chats with Niantic, the people who make Pokemon Go, because and I'm not going to go on a massive Pokemon Go thing. If you want to hear all that stuff, I've got a vlog where I talk about that from time to time. But long story short, they have this system where you can get an invitation to do a raid where Mewtwo is the Pokemon that you're fighting and then catching. And the world has figured out how to make that happen. You basically have to find a gym in a park. You have to raid at that gym enough times as a group that everyone, if you trigger the amount, I think it's like 50 raids in a week, then they send out passes to a select people in that group. So we've always had a park near me with a gym at. That's the one Kev normally mocks me at. Right. But that's why I've been raiding there, because it's the only X-raid gym, as it's called. But we recently got a new one near Kev's house, funnily enough, so there'll probably be even more vlogs of him laughing at me standing in a field. But anyway, so we kept raiding at it. And Niantic sent out passes. Now, last week, they did it for midday on, like, Wednesday. It was something like 2:30 p.m., and I emailed him going, what the hell? Like, I'm at work, my son's at school, most of the world is at work or school. Why would you invite everyone to this raid at 2:30 on a weekday?
Yeah.
And I got this automated response back saying, we're sorry for the inconvenience. It's all done by an automatic machine and we can't change it. Sorry. Yeah. And I was like, but look, you just sent out 20 invites. And I've spoken to like 15 of those people and 15 of them can't make it. You need to figure something out. And they just ignored me. And then this week, after again, because we thought, well, we missed last week's one at the gym near my house. Mm-hmm. We'll go to the one near Kev's house and we'll raid that exclusively. And they've sent the invites out and it's for 1:00 on Friday next week. And I can't even get home in like my lunch break to do that. And again, no one can make it. I mean, I'm moaning, but actually I gave someone my phone and they did the raid for me.
Really?
They did the raid for about 10 people. It was a bit ridiculous. I say phone, my login, but, yeah. But this time it's like, I don't really want to have to keep giving someone my password once every bloody week to try and get this sorted. But I'm trying to complain to them and all I'm getting is these copy and pasted responses. But it's quite funny because the person who copy and pastes the responses must have got confused or mixed up. and they sent me this email that said like, "Hi Sheepdog, sorry about the mix up. I appreciate that you've complained about this, and we've explained to you that it's all automated, and we appreciate your feedback that maybe we should automate it to not do stupid things." But then mid sentence it just switches to, "But also we've got a new feature coming." Like it's something like, "The new feature comes out on Monday, blah, blah, blah. You can get this. The trade function currently works." And I wrote back to him going, "I didn't ask about any of those things. You've just pasted the wrong section." And now it just reads like a gibberish email from an AI where it's just mid-sentence started rabbiting on about their new friend feature.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it just rounds off like, "We're sorry you find our emails condescending." Because I'd moaned about that somewhere in the email, that every time I email them quite succinct and to the point email, they come back with a really condescending ramble. And I get it. It's probably someone on minimum wage sat in the hot office just copy and pasting standard responses. But I feel like I need a phone number for that so I can just ring them up and say, "Look, mate, come on. Just reprogram the machine. It's not that hard. It's just weird. Extend it. All this. It's just, yeah. I get it's too much hassle though, because it's not that big of a deal. And it's a free game, so I'm not actually going to go out of my way for it. And I get all that, but it's been fun just trying to convince them to stop inviting me to do stuff at midday on a weekday. It's going to tick me off big time when they invite me to do a raid in Florida. I've gone home.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That's going to be a big one, because that's happened. My mate got an invitation to do one in Edinburgh, and he lives in London. And it was like, yeah. The system doesn't work very well. Yeah, exactly. If you fancy driving up 200 miles from you two,
definitely
almost worth it.
So, should we move on to TV stuff? Have you not got anything else?
That's everything I played. I watched all of season 1 of Big Mouth. Have we spoken about that before? I can't remember.
Remind me. I don't think so, but go
on. It's a cartoon about weirdly drawn children, like teenagers who...
It's on Netflix.
They're just hitting puberty.
Right.
I don't know whether it's called Big Mouth because they all have weird mouths, or whether it's a big mouth. But basically, it's about, like, I guess they're 13. So three 13-year-old boys and a couple of 13-year-old girls, just basically discovering hormones, and they all have like a hormone monster that follows them around. I thought it was Will Arnett for the first like 3 or 4 episodes voicing the hormone monster, but it sounds like it's just, I looked it up and it's just a guy doing a Will Arnett impression. But he's quite funny, and it's basically just, I mean, adults will definitely look at it and laugh because it reminds you of just all the stupid things you went through when you hit puberty. And I guess young people probably like it because they're going through that. They can emphasize with it, but it's relatively funny. It's a bit crass. I think if it was less crass, it probably wouldn't work, but it also would have been better in some ways. And all the jokes amazing. The person who recommended it to me is way more into dick jokes and sex jokes and that sort of thing. I would never have watched it with my wife. Because I didn't think she'd find it particularly funny. It seemed a bit childish for her, but it had some good moments. It had some bits where I just thought, I'm glad I watched it for that bit. That was funny, that sort of thing. It's really hard to say whether I'd recommend it, because it's like, I watched tons of shows where I'm like, that's 100% one to watch. That's definitely one that you should watch. This one, I'm kind of like, I don't know. If you like knob gags, then watch it. If you don't, steer clear.
That's similar sort of thing to, like, I wouldn't know. I think Rick and Morty's amazing, but I just don't know. I don't necessarily know the certain people. And I couldn't say go and watch Rick and Morty, because people come out and go, "What the hell is this nonsense?" Like, if you told Kev to go watch Rick and Morty, he just wouldn't get it.
I was going to say I'd recommend Rick and Morty to anyone, but then you're right. Kev would appreciate it. I don't know what I'd think with that, actually, because It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia for it was decent. I want him to watch The League because I think he'd find it interesting. Again, that's got some knob jokes in it and stuff like that, but it's
the key is you got to get Anna to watch it.
I wouldn't want to watch The League because it's about American Football Fantasy League. It's obsessively about, it's just a group of people who live and breathe their fantasy football league. I keep saying to my friend who works for Sky, they have to do a UK version of this. I'm almost at a point now where I'm going to write it just because I want them to make it, but I'd get sued pretty quick because it's just such an obvious connection. That show's worth watching because if you like American football, because they have cameos from American footballers constantly through it. As the show gets bigger, the first year it's like a bunch of people in their house just obsessing over their football league. But as it gets kind of signed as a show and it's big, and season 2, they're suddenly having cameos from the players. They have their, what's it called, where you pick your team's draft. They do their draft at a stadium where they're training with the American footballers, and you have to win to get like the first pick and all this sort of stuff. And by like season 7, they're at the actual Super Bowl draft or whatever it's called. The Super Bowl draft. That's two different things. The real draft for the real. They're there sorting their teams out and influencing the draft in the program sort of thing, because they're saying, "Oh no, you pick him because I'm going to pick him." And that blew up really well, and you sort of thought they could do that in England and just have someone like at Man United trying to influence who they sign in the transfer window because they want to sign them in their league or whatever. It would translate nicely. But again, we got a bit of a tangent there, but I think Kev would like that. Whereas again, my wife did not like it. She didn't think it was very good because it was kind of sex gag and that sort of thing.
If it's not wrestling, you're fighting a losing battle with Kev by the sounds of things. Or you get Anna to watch something, and then you've kind of half the battle won there, because Kev might be watching it in the background like he does with his whatever it.
She probably already watches it, but I've been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine with my wife, and we're both really enjoying that. I said before, I feel a bit like I shot myself in the foot because I knew she'd like it, so we were watching it together. But I had binged watched 18 episodes before I invited her to watch it with me, and then we've crawled through another 20 in the past sort of 2 weeks. And I'm thinking, I prefer watching it with her because it's great to watch it together, but I'd probably have finished all 4 seasons by now if I was watching it on my own, because I'd watched it back to back like an obsessed robot. So it's good because I guess I'm savouring it, but it means I need another show to watch instead of Big Mouth now, because I binge watched One Punch Man and I binge watched all these other programs. Is it really a binge when they're only 8 episodes? It's not really a binge, is it?
I mean, it's more than a bit. It's more than like a single episode at a time, like you do on terrestrial television or anything. You know what I mean? Like a regular TV program on a week-to-week basis, like your Game of Thrones.
Well, I didn't watch them in one night. I watched them in 2, maybe 3 nights.
Well, yeah, that's more than like you do with Walking Dead, and you're watching 8 weeks at a time.
But I binged the comics to Walking Dead. I read all 120 editions of The Walking Dead in a weekend and a half. My eyes were pretty square after that, but yeah, I binge read that. That's why when things are awesome, when you be into something that every single. That's great. That's why I need something new to watch. But
we'll come back to that in comic books later on.
Go on.
I've been binging on stuff later on, so I'll get to that. Speaking of comic books turning into TV programs, did you see that Preacher's back? I
did, but it's only back in America, isn't it? It's not back on Amazon.
It's on Amazon.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. Poop.
Yeah, the first 2 episodes are on.
I might let a few more mount up and then watch it.
It's. Have you seen the trailer for it?
I haven't. No.
It's going places now. So it starts off in Jesse's grandmother's house. That's where he goes back there to rescue.
Oh right, I was going to say I thought you meant historically back, because
no. It goes because at the end of season 2, I suppose spoilers for a year-old season now. Tulip is killed at the end of the season, and he takes her to his grandmother's because his grandmother can bring her back.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes. So that's where it starts off there. So you imagine that arc in the comic book is brilliant, where he is at his grandmother's house and he goes back. So is it? I keep forgetting. Is it Cody? Not Cody. Who's the big guy? I can never remember his name now. It might be Cody or something like that. But there's a big fella, and he looks just like I had a vision of the guy in the comic book. This big, brutish-looking fella, hard as nails, and a proper grim-looking face. And this guy does that. He has a proper grim look to him. So yeah, it starts off there, and the trailer just like shows it like the stuff that's going to happen. So there's like it's going to be the Old Father arc is going to be in this season as well.
Cool.
Do you remember that one?
I think so.
And Humperdoo. So
God, there's so much to that show and that comic. I mean, it's worth people reading it before they watch it again. Definitely, it's just such a great story. I hope the show lives up to it when it's done and dusted. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I say, I'm kind of like I've enjoyed the program for what it is, but compared to the comic book, it's not a patch on it. And like I said, every single season I've said this, like it's just not the same. It's just not the same. It made me more angry that I was watching it, and it just wasn't what I wanted out of it. And I imagine it probably will be the same here because they've got to probably like cut things out of it to fit the program better, and work out like certain things to make it more
and appeal to people. I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Yeah, because I mean the whole thing if I remember rightly, the whole stuff about Langleville, at Jesse's grandmother's house. I don't think. What is the vampire called now? Flipping heck.
Oh,
mine's just going blank now.
Yeah. Cassidy,
yeah. So Cassidy's along for the ride with this one. And I don't think Cassidy's at...
No, he kind of gone on a tangent.
Yeah, he disappeared. So, I mean, they're condensing that to keep him in the series sort of thing. Because there's whole massive arcs in the comic book where he's just off on his own and he's just like reminiscent of stories of old, isn't there? There's massive arcs of like Cassidy's backstory.
It's funny because I've not read a comic like that in real... I suppose Saga Wicked and Divine I'm reading practically in real time now. I've caught up.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine reading Preacher in real time and Cassidy not being there for a year.
Chunks of time, yeah.
Seems
and
mental,
then there'd been chunks of time where there is only Cassidy and you're going through, there's pretty much a book that is just Cassidy.
Yeah, that is
stories of Cassidy. Yeah, it's insane, isn't it, really? You're like going, Christ. Where's the story that was in the previous book? I want to know where's Jesse and Tulip.
But then I suppose there is, because Saga's like, it's not always monthly, is it? But there'll be, you could go 2-3 months where it's only, I mean, I'm pretty sure Hazel wasn't in, or no, Hazel's parents weren't in it for, 2-3 months, were they?
Oh yeah, there's a whole story arc of Prince Robot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so it is on Amazon. It's on there now. And so far I'm enjoying it and looking forward to where they go with it because, like I say, it's kind of just at the minute just setting it up sort of thing. So it's just like setting the groundwork of like the whole grandmother arc and then the whole arc with Star and the Old Father and Humperdoo.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of promise in this season. Hopefully they don't like diverge from it too much and make it a bit daft. That's the problem because the previous seasons they kind of just like say they didn't stick to the material and it's like say trying to appease to more people, I suppose. But
I wonder whether Humperdoo's going to cause a mass uproar.
Probably not. It's probably going to be much watered down to what it is, and it'll probably be over and done within an episode because the Humperdoo thing in the book isn't a massive kind of thing. It's kind of dealt with pretty quick.
Really.
The old father is a bigger deal in the books, and even he's dealt with pretty quick. But it's just watch the trailer because there is a shot of the old father and you're like, oh god, they're doing the old father and they're doing it properly. So watch the trailer if you've not watched it yet because it's really good.
Cool.
That's about it for TV programs I've watched.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to find what you've been binge reading. To be honest,
okay, so we can move on to comic books then, I suppose. We've got it. We've made over an hour.
No, not because I want to wrap up.
No. I was just concerned we were based on what I had and not knowing what you had. I was concerned that we weren't even going to reach an hour this week. But we have done it. We've done it. There you go. So I have finished Milk Wars.
Cool. And was it worthwhile? I looked at it a bit more after we spoke.
I don't think you'd get it. I really don't think you'd get it.
too dense.
You need to have the back knowledge of the young animal sort of crowd. Otherwise, there's just these people that are weird and wacky characters that you wouldn't get the whole gist of.
I think you're right. I'd read a little bit about the back bits, and I just thought it's a big old rabbit hole to go down. It feels like the idea is they go, oh, look at this great story, but you need to go and read all the old bits. Fools.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you'd been reading, if you'd been keeping up to date with it all, Sheepdog, you wouldn't be that bad.
Exactly. It's only my own fault for not already spending hundreds of pounds on it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't know for certain the whole ins and outs of it. It's only because I've read the volume ones of these individual characters and stories that I don't have a full detail of how they got to where they are to this book. But at least I have a base knowledge, so I can go, okay, that's the Doom Patrol, that's Shade the Changing Girl, that's Cave Carson, that's the one from Batman that I can never remember the name of, Mother Panic.
It's frustrating because they're bringing out all these new heroes now, aren't they? And you can doing a big event in like a year and a half and going, yeah, well, you need to know about all these other, I don't blame them. I guess
these are the ones that seem to be like Marvel based.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, like the Spider-Man looking
Midas fan.
Yeah, I mean that's different again though to this, because this is these young animals like their indie section where they just let them do what they want sort of thing, and that's why they've got this. Sort of
isn't it like the Runaways and stuff like that though? Isn't it?
I don't know about the Runaways. I think the Runaways is even more mainstream than Young Animal. I might be wrong, but it seems like this is just like...
I feel like it feels that way because Marvel are probably better at making their niche indie ones more mainstream. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I enjoyed this book finishing it. I found out like the whole story of it was like Retcon, this big conglomerate company, this evil company, was literally selling like people that realities to like God overlord kind of people. And this Retcon was like, say, they gave them this milk and it brainwashed them. So you'd have Father Bruce, who was Batman, and then Wonder Wife and the Milkman Man. Now I found out that Milkman Man isn't Superman.
No, right.
He is, but because he can't be like manipulated like the others can because he's Kryptonian. So they cloned him.
Oh, right, okay. So
he's a clone of Superman. So he was solely created to be Milkman Man. So he isn't turned by the end of he's only turned at the end of the book sort of thing. Each start of each chapter when Father Bruce introduced and Wonder
Does
Wife.
Does he go on to being the world's fastest milkman who delivers cow's milk?
No, well, by the end of it, sort of retcon's destroyed and it's like just like wiped and everyone's kind of confused as to what's gone on. They've got an inkling that something's gone on. A bit like
I feel like you've literally just derailed it for anyone who wanted to read it, to be honest, although we know what would happen.
I don't understand. I don't quite get. To be honest with you, the thing is, right, you can't. There's spoilers in the thing, but it's also the journey you go on to get to there.
Oh no, of course. You don't read a superhero book wondering whether they're going to succeed at the end.
I mean, it's just the ending seems like I can't. I think that is it. I don't think there's any more. I think it's a one-off sort of series. But it's like I say, I enjoyed it because it was different and it was. And it had it was like a big old tie-in from like all the Young Animal characters series, sort of all merged together and put into like the proper DC universe with your Batmans and your Wonder Womans and your Supermans, and it's great. I thought it was a really good book. Like I say, I don't recommend it to people who don't know the characters because, like I say, if you'd have picked it up, I don't think you'd have been like, who the hell is this robot fella? Why is there a talking bus? Why is this like white knight looking character in Gotham? I don't understand what's going on, sort of thing. So it's good though. Like I say, I enjoyed it. And if you're reading the DC Young Animal stuff, then I probably imagine you've already read this. But the thing that I have read, and it's a span of like less than 2 days that I've read completely, is Volume 1 of Black Magic. Now, have you read this, Sheepdog?
I have not.
No. I hate to say it, but Kev recommended this. And Kev, if Kev listens to this, he won't listen this far in anyway, so it's fine. So he will never hear the fact that I'm saying.
To be fair, he's recommended most of the stuff.
He knows his stuff about comic books. Kev.
Yeah, he does.
And this book is amazing. It was really good. So it's about a police officer called Rowan Black, and she is a police officer in like the police force. I think it's Portsmouth. I don't know where Portsmouth is in America, but it's there anyway. Set there,
south of the UK, mate.
No, that it's not. It's American, but yes, I get what you mean. But she is also part of like a witch's coven type thing. And the first issue, I'm only going to talk about the first issue realistically, so I'm not really spoiling it too much. You start off with this like witch's circle chanting sort of thing, and you see there's this like weird noise going on in the background sort of thing, and then it comes to realize it's her phone that's ringing, and she's got a case to go and deal with, while everyone's really annoyed at her because she's disrupted the circle. And she's got to go and deal with this hostage case going on, and then you find that this hostage case, the guy who's taken everyone hostage just wants her, and you're like, what's going on here? Then you don't know what's going on, so she agrees, like, yeah, go on then, sure. For all the hostages you can come and I'll talk to you. So they go with that, and she goes in, and then he kind of goes, I know you are. I know you are, and you're a witch, and I'm gonna burn you down. And you notice that the entire place is caked in kerosene, and he's got a lighter. He's ready to light her on fire, and she puts a spell. She either does something to him, or she like reverses it, and he just sort of lights himself up.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I was going to say, like, if she's a witch, she's going to magic it out somewhere.
Well, I don't know whether she does, because it's all talk about later on of like this guy had some sort of he had something that it made it do it to him sort of thing. It was like some sort of incantation on him that
like
was making him do
someone else.
Well, it's some sort of bigger organisation. It wasn't this guy. Seemed like, from what I can gather from this story is that this guy was like. He wasn't anyone in particular. He was like a pawn in the game sort of thing, of like doing it, getting to her sort of thing. But it's really good. It's really good, Sheepdog. The artwork is stunning. Absolutely. Probably some of the best artwork I've seen. Unbelievably good.
I'm dubious as to whether it'd be better artwork than Divine.
Than what, sorry?
Wicked and Divine.
Yes.
Dubious.
Honest to God, it's all in black and white as well. So it's like kind of watching it. It's like looking at like ultra realistic pictures. It's like ultra realistic pictures. I've
just brought it up on my laptop while you're talking, and I can see the cut. Is it like the cover art? If that makes sense. Actually, to be fair, I can see a sneak preview.
Yeah,
I do see what you mean. It does look very.
It's not like a cartoony kind of drawing. It's very realistic.
It's like I'm more of a moth in that I get really drawn to the bright colours in Wicked and Divine. I really like the Green Lantern books because they're always ridiculously colourful.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, I can definitely appreciate. That's a bit like, what's the film? Blooming heck. Oh, I can't believe I've forgotten the name of it.
Sin City now.
Yeah, of course, Sin City.
Yeah, a little bit. But
obviously, it hasn't got the red blood and that sort of thing, but it's that.
No, I mean, there is some colour in it, but not much. Like I said, only the odd colour when it's like, I think there's a spell that's put on, and then there's it's like blue lights up the entire like page, sort of thing. But I started this yesterday and finished it this afternoon when I got in from work, and I read, like, on my dinner break. I read the first issue. No, sorry, I'm just going past. I read the second issue, I think, at work at dinner time today, and by the end of reading that, I'd already ordered the next one. It's coming tomorrow.
Is there only 2?
Yeah, at the minute it's only 2. This is Greg Rucker who worked on Wonder Woman, I think Kev said, for Rebirth. So he took a year off from this. So only Kev got it when we were at Comic Con. Volume 2. So Volume 2 had only just come out. And Kev said it was that good, and that's what taught me into getting it. I was like, yeah, go on then, I'll get it then. I'll get book 1, because it's been on my wish list for ages, but never got round to it. But yeah, so good. And like I say, I imagine I'll probably have read that Volume 2 by the end of the weekend and be on to something else next week.
Awesome.
Because it's so good. It's so good. It's cool. It's such a cool book. But that is it. That is a lot for me, really. Reading 2 books in a week.
Definitely. I mean,
that just had me that one. Just really did. And I can recommend it. I mean, Kev's probably recommended it umpteen times and not paid attention to him.
The reason why I don't jump into Kev's is all my regulars kind of update. So I go on my iPad and I'm like, oh, the new Giant Days is out, I'll read that. And then when I finish it, I'm like, oh, while I'm here, I might as well read Saga. Or while I'm here, I might as well go and read Superman. And I go off and I'm like, and then by the time I'm done, I'm like, damn, I should really read something new. And so this section's a bit up and down for me because I don't want to constantly say, oh, I read Batman, or I read Superman, or I read this, you know what I mean? I have to kind of hold it in unless they're amazing weeks, I guess. But I've not read this week's Wicked and Divine, which is why I keep referencing it, because I remembered it's there and I need to read it.
I mean, I'm on volume, so I'm behind. I'm only on the whatever the last volume was, so I'm behind anyway. I'm on the volume form, so
I don't know what number they're ending on, but I feel like it's wrapping.
It's the end of this year, isn't it? Kev said there's only this year that's left, and it's only like is it 1 volume and a special left or something like that? I think Kev said, or something like that, maybe. I can't remember exactly, but like I said, Kev's in the know of this stuff. We're not. I'm
sure we could find out.
Well, we're not going to. I mean, that's something else that I did do over the weekend. There was a sale on for, I think it was on Comixology, because I'm slowly getting back into Comixology instead of buying online, buying physical again. And I think I spent another 20 quid on books last weekend on I think I bought 3 more volumes of Deadly Class and another volume of Black Science, I think. And so I think, did I mention that I spent a load of money last time on a load of books because they were on sale? Yeah.
I've kept away. Our local place did a £5 graphic novel special.
Oh, yeah.
And just pick up everything they had for a fiver. But I just thought, no, I better not. I was planning it would be all supportive, and I just thought, no.
Yeah. That's the thing. I like to go to the comic book stores, but I feel I'm just running out of room. And Comixology are doing a lot of good sales at the minute. I mean, like I say, I bought 6 books maybe at 3 quid each. And like that. It cost me 20 quid, and it was insane that if I'd have bought them physically books, they'd be 15 quid a piece. So I mean, I'd spent best part of 100 quid rather than 20 quid that I spent. It's you can't beat that really. And like I said, I'm coming round to the idea of digital again. The only problem is now though is that I've got to go back to read the original volume 1s that I've started reading and not gone back to to buy volume 2s. So now I've got to go back and read. I've got to start Descent. I've got to read the first 2 volumes of Descender again before I can read the next 4 volumes that I've got on digital. And then I've got to do the same with Black Science. I've read the first 2 volumes and I've got another 3 volumes of that to read. And now I've got another, and same with Deadly Class. I've read the first 2 volumes of that, and I'll have to go back to that to catch up and read the next 3. It's insane. I've got loads of reading to do.
You have to sit in bed with a light on and do it.
Yeah, that's it. And I find it difficult to do that in bed. I find it difficult. I find myself just drawn to just end up watching YouTube in bed. But yeah, I need to read more books.
I go through phases. I do need to read more. But yeah sorry, I should just let you wrap it up instead of having my own 2 cents on top.
Good sheepdog.
You've come to a perfect natural end. Well, like you say though, that is their lot. Thanks very much for listening, folks. You know the usual places you can find us at MGUK Podcast, at RB6K.
I'm at Pab 1986.
And you know that Kev's at Lelujo and Anna's at Miss Lelujo. As I said at the front of the episode, don't tweet them about their sort of, sad times. Do it on their YouTube channel. I think that's everything. I can't think of anything else I need to say. We don't have a website. Covered that. I failed it.
Got a Facebook.
We do have a Facebook that seems to get more subscribers and subscribers and followers than anything. It seems to just constantly have people joining it. I get little alerts on my phone.
And what is that, Sheepdog? Just for
I don't believe. No, let me have a quick look on my phone.
Podcast on Facebook.
Probably. I'm pretty sure if you typed in the Mature Gamer Podcast, it's MGP games, movies, TV, and comics.
There you go.
Do you know what's really bizarre?
Okay.
The Steven Media page, the Geek Culture Radio page, and the Best Thing Front page also gain new followers semi-regularly. Facebook is a bizarre little place. But yeah, there's 540 people in the Facebook group, and the last person who joined it was on Wednesday, a John Rivet. There was a Jamie Summers, Christine Bett, and Andrew Clinton.
There you go. Shout outs at the end of the podcast. There you go. This is for all the listeners who listen right at the end.
That's it. At the end of the show, people. Z-Max or Z-Max Magar, Danny Kent, David Fitzgeraldson, Hayley Hankins.
All right,
I'm not going to go on because that goes back to 2017 after that. Hayley Hankins was this year. That was January, to be fair. So it's not as regular as I thought.
Shout out to all the new followers on Facebook.
Let's start people talking on there. That'd be great. I forgot what I was going to say. It was important. It wasn't important. I'm just going to go to Sheepdog Says on YouTube because that's my place and I want to get more followers. You got anything to plug, Bab?
No. Go to, what is it now? Lelujo.fm for all Kev stuff. It's all on there.
I think his main vlog's Kevin Chapman now, but
but if his website is lelujo.fm will take him to his main page, and you can get it through his stuff from there, can't you?
He doesn't need us pitching him.
No, he doesn't. But I haven't got anything to plug, so I'll do it for him.
All right. Well, that's your lot anyway. Thanks very much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, folks.